Hey, Nick.
Hey, Mr. Wyatt.
So I was looking at Facebook Marketplace earlier because, as you know, both of us enjoy a good deal,
That we
and
do.
I found a broken guitar, someone that was given away for free. Uh, it came with no strings attached.
Yeah.
We don't have it yet. And how are we doing? We don't have it Yetis. This is your favorite adjacent podcast. I am Wyatt. This is Nick.
Me,
How
Nick.
we, how's it going, Nick?
It goes, man. It's cold. Very, very cold. Even though it's
At
actually like 20 outside now, it feels colder than when it was -10 somehow inside my house.
I was gonna say it's I think we're at about 30 right now and there's no wind for the first time in 2 weeks. This is the first day I think since last Monday that it hasn't been below sub-zero, or it's been sub-zero rather for the last week, and now we're finally sitting at almost above freezing, and it feels like I could go run around naked. And
Oh,
I've got a
freezing
nice
would
big
be a
yard,
joy.
so
Yeah, I would love 32 degrees more than anything in the world. It sucks outside, and I'm sick of it.
well, that's what we get for both of us choosing to live in a place where our faces hurt.
This guy. Can you believe it? Can you freaking believe it?
So to kind of give everyone a quick
What do
overview of
we
what we're
got
gonna
this week?
this week, you and I both watched Yacht Rock, a documentary, which has a pun in the title, and I greatly appreciated that when I saw
I just
that.
assumed that's why you recommended it on the whole.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't care
Yeah.
anything about,
Puns
Yacht
up front.
Rock or music. It was
Yeah.
just, a pun in the name. Both of us received some cracked CRKD guitars, the new
That's
wireless
true.
guitars for Clone Hero, Fortnite Festival, etc. And I think we're gonna talk about one of my favorite actresses, and I'm sure you loved her
Oh,
too, Catherine
yeah.
O'Hara, who
Well, let's
sadly
get right
passed
into
away
that.
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Catherine O'Hara died at 71 years old, which is wild that to me that she was that young because I feel like she's been around forever,
Well,
which
her
she
career
had.
is older than you, I think, pretty
Exactly.
much.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm super young, so I mean that's not saying a whole lot.
It's
I'm a
older than
spring
me.
chicken.
You're not super young. Don't compliment yourself that way. You're getting old.
No, I'm not.
And yeah, I mean, I think came as a sudden shock to pretty much everybody because I just kind of figured she'd be around acting for at least another 10 years before she called it quits. She was just in the studio as like the Kathleen Kennedy character. She's been great. I mean, she's been great in everything she's ever been in, but it's kind of something of a movie mom if John Candy was your uncle.
That would be a family.
Yeah.
That would be a family. Catherine O'Hara and John Candy trying to
I mean, she
raise
was
you.
the mom in Home Alone. She was the mom in Beetlejuice. And yeah, it just feels like one of those mainstays that's been with you your whole like comedic film life. And it's a bummer, man. So
It
many of my
is.
favorite things had Catherine O'Hara in them. I mean, well, Best in Show is like one of my favorite movies, period. But I mean, all of that ensemble just kills me. Any of the SCTV folk together is great. I don't know, just a nice group of Canadians.
Yeah, I was really happy. Like Catherine O'Hara, a lot of people, I'd say before Schitt's Creek, everyone would probably remember her from screaming for Kevin in Home Alone. Uh, but it was really nice to see that, once Schitt's Creek came out and became a, super hit, that she finally started to get her flowers, it appears. And seeing the work that she did in the studio with Seth Rogen, she was only in a few episodes of that, but I thought she was fantastic in that. And it's really sad to see that we won't get to see the final act of Catherine O'Hara's career.
See, I didn't know that. Like, in my mind, like Schitt's Creek is a show that I've only recently started watching a little bit of. Um, not because it passed me by or I wasn't aware of it. It's just I always planned to get to it. You know, it was a backlog thing. I mean, she was such a mainstay in my life for so many years prior to that. But you're probably right that I don't know if she really had her own standout performance prior to that, where, yeah, like you said, she really got her flowers. But she was just in, I mean, so many things. I'm just
Yeah, I
going
mean,
down it now.
me too. You know, like you said, Beetlejuice, Home Alone 2, obviously we can't forget that. Waiting for Guffman, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Best in Show, The Wild Robot.
Mighty Wind, she
Yep.
again with Eugene Levy. Obviously, that was a duo that kept going throughout the entire years. But then they played like a folk duo in that, and it
Yep.
was really subtle humor, which I liked a lot. Well,
Yes.
dry, I suppose would be the word.
Which, as our Canadian friends, you know, that's the specialty of our SCTV
That's why I enjoyed them, I'm sure.
alumni. Yeah, so you know, I wanted to just kind of quickly talk about Catherine O'Hara because it is a big moment, I guess, in media history, I suppose. And since you and I are both kind of always looking through the same things we watch over and over again, I just wanted to see, is there anything that you came back to, like maybe over and over again of Catherine O'Hara's, or did you is it something that, you know, you've watched, you've appreciated her stuff, and you've always loved seeing her in something?
Definitely the latter. I mean, like I said, she's just been a mainstay throughout my life. Like I'm just looking at her television appearances and it's like, you know, improv stuff. Whose line is it anyway? But then she was also on the Larry Sanders show, or she would appear and pop up in an episode of Dr. Katz, of an episode of Curb. So like she was just there always, all the time. Um, and like I already brought this up, I don't know if it was specifically that character, but anything with that whole waiting for Guffman troop. But Best in Show is like one of my favorite comedies, period, all timer. Cookie Fleckman, she was so great in that.
Best
Uh,
in Show is absolutely, if anyone hasn't seen that, it's one of the wonderful Christopher Guest films.
Christopher Guest, thank you. That was sitting on the edge of my tongue.
Yeah, you absolutely have to watch it. The premise is essentially what is just like it's dog show people. It's like a mockumentary-esque on dog show people.
Yeah, Waiting for Guffman was about community theater. Best in Show was about, you know, the weird people of pet shows. And
The
then you
Mayflower
had,
Dog Show. That's what it
yeah,
was.
the Mayflower Dog Show. And then you had, was it, just talked about A Mighty Wind, which was like a PBS folk music presentation. If you grew up watching MPT PBS in the 80s and 90s, it'll feel very familiar. The kind of thing that you would call into the pledge drive and get a free tote bag for, and wonder who the hell actually watches this stuff. Oh, that was hilarious. God, she was in a ton of stuff. I mean, Beetlejuice is just such a huge part.
I think that might have been where I first saw her.
I would say
Was
for sure, because
Beetlejuice.
I was still really young when that came out. So that's like the start of her just being a mainstay. And since she was kind of the outlandish mom figure in that, I'm sure I just latched onto it even more.
Was it? And correct me if I'm wrong. Which movie was it? I think it was Home Alone 2 that, or maybe it was Home Alone 1. I'm sorry. This is great. Makes for great podcasting.
I know,
The
right?
one where John Candy came in and
It's the first one. It's the first
was
one.
it the first one? Okay, yeah. Which makes sense because it was in the airport where he plays oh my god. My brain is fried today.
The Polka King of the Midwest,
Polka King of the Midwest. What was his name?
Gus Valinsky and the Kenosha Kickers.
Yes. Okay, thank you. This is why I'm glad I have you here to play off of me not being able to remember a damn thing.
Yeah, there was a
But
really like kind of lovely picture that was floating around the internet around the time of her death of the two of them, obviously going way back to the SCTV days, just kind of hanging off each other was really nice. And to think that they're both gone now makes me sad, even though John Candy's been gone for the better part of 30 years.
did
Over
we
30
talk
years.
about
Jeez.
I
Like
guess
Me?
since we're on the subject. Yeah, did we ever talk about that on the show? I know we both ended up watching it, but
Yeah. I don't know if we talked about it on here. It was brilliant. It really was.
It was a little too bright.
Saccharine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very much a love letter from Ryan Reynolds to his Canadian, uncle Buck, as it were. And it was a little too glowing. Like if they had gotten into the stuff, the real like Johnny Toronto stuff, I wanted to see the
Yeah.
partying, self-destructive Candy a little more. But nobody's gonna think less of him. He was human.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it was part
but I,
of
I,
his
I want
larger
to
than
I want
life
to hear the
persona.
stories about him out at the bar and chain smoking and eating and all that stuff. It's part of the story. I'm sorry, it's not like a morbid fascination with the things that killed him. It's part of what
Just
he
who
was.
the complex person is. He was a complex character, and being able to see what everything that went into building him as a person.
Oh yeah, but I mean, yeah, as someone that grasps with anxiety all the time too, it was clear that he turned, he was not this outward facing personality, and he kind of turned inward and would smoke and drink and eat to kind of deal with these crippling anxiety feelings while being a performer, which is always that weird double-edged sword, I suppose. You get your fill off of the applause from the audience, but you're terrified and hate yourself at the same time. That's got to be pretty torturous.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. Bill Hader's actually talked about when he did Saturday Night Live. I think specifically when he was doing like Stefan on the Weekend Updates, that he used to almost like visibly have panic attacks every time before he would go out and shoot, and just like I can't imagine like. But again, it's the like you said, the laughter, the adoration, the things that come from it. But having to deal with that every single time you go to do your job is,
it's like drug addiction,
oof.
man.
Yeah.
It keeps you coming back for more, but in the end, it's not necessarily a healthy lifestyle that you're leading because of it. And comedians talk about it on the road and stuff, and how it's actually very depressing and all that good stuff. So it's yeah, I would have liked to see more of the tortured clown versus just the glowing eulogy of a movie kind of thing. But having said that, I still love me some John Candy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He one of my favorite. I go no, we've gone from Catherine O'Hara to John Candy. So this might as well just be an SCTV segment.
Sure.
But speaking of SCTV, I can't remember the band that they played, but it was Eugene Levy, Rick Moranis, John Candy, and I believe one other person played this.
Yeah, they show it in the movie. I can't remember either.
Was it shown in the movie? I just remember I've
Mm-hmm.
watched the clip on YouTube over and over again, and just watching just John Candy's timing as the drummer in that band is hysterical.
Yeah, I mean, he was just immensely likable. He had one of those just personalities that I think everybody wanted to be around him. And it helps that he was a larger than life guy and personality too, like himself.
Yeah. So
I mean,
speaking of, movies,
yeah.
I believe you told me you've watched a few movies this past week, and you mentioned one that I was going to ask you if you had seen many times over like the last few months, and it just always slipped my mind, and I'm pretty excited to see that you've watched it, and I want to get your take on it. You watched the Nice Guys this week, right?
I so did. Yeah, Friday night we were looking for something to watch, and I came across, as we were discussing last week, scrolling through posters, I came across that. And I can never remember if it's the internet telling me that The Nice Guys is one of the funniest movies ever, or The Other Guys is one of the funniest movies ever. One being the one I watched with Russell Crowe and help me out, guy from
Ryan
Drive,
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling, thank you.
Yep.
And the other being with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. I
Yeah.
remember seeing the Mark Wahlberg Will Ferrell thing when it came out, and maybe it was passingly amusing at the time. I don't really remember much beyond that. And then,
It was a Will Ferrell movie.
yeah, that's all I remembered of it. But this, I don't think it was one of those movies where I couldn't remember if I had ever actually seen it. And my wife was like, "Yeah, I've definitely seen that." And 5 minutes into agreeing to watch it, we're both like, "Yeah, neither of us have ever seen this." um, Man, what a great movie! Just like what a fun, smart comedy that I absolutely loved. I mean, Ryan Gosling is probably an underrated comedic actor, but now that I think about it, he's been in a ton of funny stuff. Um, his timing's pretty excellent, and Russell Crowe can really be pretty hilarious when he wants to turn it on too. I don't know what worked so well in this movie, but I was laughing out loud pretty regularly throughout it.
Yeah, this movie, it came out in 2016, May of 2016, and I knew nothing about this movie. I was actually out in Cooperstown for my yearly excursion out to the Baseball Hall of Fame. I had a day where I wasn't doing anything. I was like, you know what? I'm
You
gonna go
go to
see
the
a movie.
movies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so I just drove to the local movie theater, looked at the marquee. I mean, obviously, I had a cell phone, I had a smartphone and everything, but I'm like, I'm going to do this old school. I just want to show up and see what's going on. And I saw The Nice Guys. I'm like, I know nothing about this. I saw the movie poster, which is the same movie poster that you probably saw for before you started watching. I think it's just Russell Crowe holding a shotgun with Ryan Gosling next to him. And I was like, huh,
Yeah, with
this.
that very 70s yellow-brown fonting.
Yes. Yeah, I think the movie takes place in like 76 or
It's
something
the
out in.
height of polyester leisure suits,
Yes.
gas crisis, bad Iran, all that good stuff.
So I saw it on a whim, and that was one of the experiences that I remember to this day of like it's so fun to be able to discover something without like seeing all the hype behind it, or
Mhm.
even though I enjoyed when I was younger getting Nintendo powers and Game Informers and following the new video games that are going to be coming out and seeing all the hype and then having it
Yeah.
come out. But there's just something to be said for discovering something that you've never heard of, never seen anything about, and just being like, oh my God, like, this is
Uh,
awesome.
that's what we're here for, right? I mean, that's why you and I are doing this show, right?
Exactly. It's
I
a
mean,
lot of fun
it
to be able to have that.
yeah, I mean, as time goes on, it's become just more and more brutal to even watch any trailer for anything because they're just trying to sell it to anyone who will listen, so they show the whole damn movie half the
Hmm.
time now. There's literally like 3 acts in a trailer, it's insane. But, um, yeah, whenever possible, I'll try and tell myself to go in dark or tell you, like, if there's a movie I really like, I'll just be like, "Go in dark," don't have any expectations, don't know what it's about, just go in dark. Because, yeah, it's, like, the only unwrapping a present experience we have left, really. Why do I wanna spoil it for myself?
So, I think you said, yeah, it stars Ryan Gosling, Russell Crowe, but I mean, Margaret Qualley's in it, Matt Bomer, Kim Basinger, Keith David. Like, there's just so many great people in the movie, and it's just Ryan Gosling. I think he plays what, just like a down on his luck private eye that
Yeah,
can't get
he's
out of
I
his
mean,
own way.
he's a deadbeat dad, drunk, private eye with a scarred past from his wife, I think she died? I can't remember.
It's been so long since I've watched this movie.
I believe his wife is dead, and he's kind of a broken man. And so, you find him doing piddling PI work at the bottom of a bottle. That's where we meet his character. And Russell Crowe is something of a famous heavy that
Hmm.
distributes vigilante mob justice via a pair of brass knuckles. But I guess a guy was holding up a diner with a shotgun, and he disarmed this guy and knocked him out, so he became like a celebrity in the LA area. So everybody's just fine with him acting as an enforcer, apparently, because he's in the newspaper. Um, and yeah, of course, so their paths cross for a caper of a case involving a young lady. It's all very 70s television, taking the piss out of the old detective stories kind of thing, but with a very self-aware, again, dry sense of humor. Um, but with a lot of sight gags, a lot of pratfalls, a lot of hurting Ryan Gosling gags. Um, so don't get the impression that it's like some boring hoity comedy by any stretch. It was he gets hurt a lot, and I laughed a lot at
Yeah,
that.
he gets the crap kicked out of him the
Yeah.
entire movie. I
And
I don't know
the
if you
shit where he
mentioned it
rolls down
was.
the hill and finds the body like had me dying when he was just like out there trying to be smooth with the gal and just flips over the balcony. Man, I was dying.
It
Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, I don't know if you mentioned that Shane Black was the director. I think he did almost all of the Lethal Weapon movies. I know he wrote the
Lethal
Monster
Weapon
Squad, I
movies.
believe.
Those are Richard Donner movies. What are you talking about? Aren't they?
Shane Black, I think, was the director
Were they? Oh,
or
okay.
writer.
I don't even know.
I know now you're gonna make me have to look this up because I'm gonna feel really dumb, which is fine.
I just don't know who Shane
Sorry,
Black is.
he wrote Lethal Weapon 1 and 2.
Got it.
He also wrote Monster Squad, Last Boy Scout, The Last Action Hero, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, The Long Kiss Goodnight. So I mean, Shane Black has
Writes action comedies.
Yep. He
Yeah.
also directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which was his directorial
Great movie.
debut.
Underrated
which
movie.
is
Actually, all of those are underrated movies.
Yeah, see, The Last Action Hero is so good.
It got a bad rap, and it continues to, and I don't think it's found as much of an appreciative audience as it should for one reason, and I'm sorry to him if he's out there listening today, but the kid that was in that sucked. He drove me nuts.
I can't remember what his name is.
I don't know. Stupid floppy haircut 90s kid that didn't belong in that movie. But that's an underrated movie. As time goes on, people talk about The Long Kiss Goodnight more and more. And I actually saw that in theaters and haven't thought about it since then. I just remember Samuel L. Jackson making the assume joke, but assumption, you make an ass out of you and umption. And that's literally all I can remember out of that movie.
I mean, I still use that today, so
I do too. It's a good quote. As we veered wildly off course away from whatever the hell we were talking about.
We actually didn't. We actually didn't, because we started talking about the Nice Guys, which moved to Shane Black, which moved to Lethal Weapon, which moved to other ones of Shane Black's movies, and that's as far away as we got from where we were going.
Well, closing out new movies for the week, we both watched a pun-based documentary, doc being the operative, a yacht rock doc.
Yes, I actually watched this when it first came out last year, maybe the year before, but I recently, for whatever reason, got the itch, and I was like, you know what? I want to watch that again. I had nothing going on. I was like, I'm just going to pop this on because, it's just like yacht rock. It's just nice, nice to put on in the background and just kind of chill out.
Perfect background filler material that you don't have to give yourself over 100% to by any stretch of the imagination. Music docs are generally great for that if I'm just like doing paperwork or typing something.
Yeah. So I know
really well
you mentioned a couple times. I was enjoying watching it, I think, watching it through how you were watching it, because I know you kind of like commented to me a few times while you were watching. We're like, holy crap, I didn't realize that,
Oh, yeah, well, it's, like I said, I was just sitting there. I'm like, yeah, let me just go ahead and put this on. Wyatt told me to, said it was good. I don't have to be on top of it entirely. And there was a lot of stuff that I was familiar with, but then I didn't know, like, just how deep it went. Like Toto. I know that Toto is John Williams' son. It's his created band from the 80s or late 70s, I think.
Yeah, late 70s.
And obviously they're very famous for Africa as like their big hit song. But moreover, they were studio guys. They were kind of the continuation of the Wrecking Crew out of the 60s. These were the guys, and Toto were famously just like the most hardcore musicians. Like they can play anything, anytime. Challenge them, they can play it. Technically proficient to the nines. So while they had Toto going on, they were actually subbing in for bands left, right, and center for recording sessions. And chances are, if you are familiar with an album out of the 80s, they're on there somewhere. Said they recorded something like 4,000 to 5,000 albums in 10 years or something obscene. That's insane.
Yeah, it was just wild. My favorite part, because I've always loved this guy since, I don't know, high school maybe, but just seeing, along with like Toto, seeing how Michael McDonald, like if you wanted to be seen in music during that time, you would ask Michael McDonald to come do backing vocals for you,
because he has such a unique voice.
Just seeing him with Christopher Guest, with Steely Dan, with the Doobie Brothers, branching out on his own, him and Kenny Loggins.
Christopher Cross. We were talking about Christopher Guest with Catherine O'Hara.
Did I say Christopher?
You said Christopher Guest.
Yeah,
which,
I told you, my brain.
I'd love to see that a little crossover from A Mighty Wind.
Yeah,
No, it was
my brain is
Christopher
gone.
Christopher Cross.
Yes, thank
Uh,
you. Christopher Cross, who even seeing his, I knew nothing about Christopher Cross before I watched this documentary. The only thing I knew about Christopher Cross is that his Flamingo album, his Flamingo like vinyl album was at every thrift shop, every
mm,
Goodwill, every Salvation Army that I've been to for the last decade plus. I knew nothing about him. I'm like, okay, again, kind of a through line through all our stuff is all I knew was this album cover. I'm like, this doesn't seem like anything I'd care about. I don't care.
well, nobody did for a long time. It was seen as a very, I think, flash in the pan moment in music, to go with like the leisure suits of the 70s we were just talking about kind of thing. It was kind of a moment in time,
It's
for a
just
pretty
wild to see how he hit the stratosphere so fast.
Oh
Like
yeah.
what he
But
won
it's
best album, best solo,
clearly
or like
a critics artist first, but I mean a reluctant star, I would say. None of the guys that appear in this documentary are going to be, mega stars for their looks, and some of the guys you're like, dude, it's time to let go of the hairstyle. Um,
which that was
but
a big part of the documentary. Actually, was that once MTV came out and stuff shifted
video
over
killed the
to
radio
video.
star.
Exactly, and it literally did. All these guys, I
Yeah,
know Michael McDonald
they
was
weren't lookers, man.
no. Michael
They're
McDonald said he's
musicians.
like, I make music. Like I don't want to, I'm not an actor. He said he
Yeah, but
likened it.
he also said he's like, I didn't sign up to create visual imagery to go with
Right.
my art. I'm a musician. I play music. Like,
Yeah.
and I was on board with all that stuff. But I mean, the biggest thing that I took away from all of it was all the session work that those guys did and how much of popular music has their signature all
The
over it.
same DNA.
Yeah. And I mean, what geniuses they were, as perhaps a little more reluctant people to be in the spotlight. I mean, the guys that wanted the big hits and the girls and the stadiums and all that stuff may have come and gone. Meanwhile, they're collecting massive lifelong amounts of money from the
Hmm.
amount of royalties that they're on,
I
and
can
their writing
only
credits,
imagine.
their recording studio credits, their master credit recordings. I mean, just so many things that those guys have to be on getting paid for all the time. I mean, they were both on Thriller. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah. I know. Like, just as again, like you said, just seeing the through line of all of the different music that these guys touched. Uh,
We'll
I
run down like the
actually,
major, I guess, groups that would be considered yacht rock, because there's a very fine line in what actually qualifies as yacht rock. I mean, you've got Toto for sure, like that counts. Christopher Cross, Michael McDonald, and then it kind of starts getting a little blurrier, even just as you get out of that small subsect.
yeah, Kenny Loggins for a while. Kenny
Kenny
Loggins,
Loggins.
seeing how he like the amount of
Oh,
transformations that
there's
guy
there's
had.
another one who's just a pure musical genius, right? So he was playing
Yeah,
all this hardcore shit, and then the 80s come, and he's like, well, I don't look like a rock star either. I'm not going to be able to sell myself on image, but I can write really catchy songs for movies, and now you all still know them 40 years later.
Caddyshack, Top Gun, just like banger after banger. Like
Footloose.
Footloose, yes.
Yeah.
Uh, I really enjoyed the documentary. I don't know if this was before the podcast, but I don't know if I mentioned it before, but last year, going along with the Wyatt goes to millions of shows every year, I actually went and saw Christopher Cross, Toto, and Men at Work play
Yeah,
in a
I remember you
concert.
going to that.
Yeah, that was so fun. I mean, they could still rock in their 70s, early
Well,
to late 70s.
the amount of rocking required is really quite minimal. So I feel like you're able to stretch out that career a little longer when you're sat at the piano, singing Yamo Be There. Oh, now I need that sound effect.
I know. I'm
Yamo
surprised you don't
burn this
have it.
bitch to the ground. I don't think about him until the quote enters my head. You have to understand that.
We'll see. Now we need a Nick's drops show notes.
True. We'll get there. But speaking of rock and rocking things, we are both ready to rock in the most nerdly and emasculating way possible. We're both getting back into rhythm games here.
I'm so
And
proud of you. That was such a good transition.
Oh,
That
was it? Yay me. We got new crack guitars, man, because they were on sale on Woot. So we said, fuck it. And you've been trying to tell me I should get into Clone Hero. So I downloaded a huge Clone Hero image and spent the better part of last night downloading all the songs I didn't think would be, or there would be charts for. And there's charts for everything.
I know. Isn't it wild?
It is. It is, man. So I don't know if you've had a whole bunch of time to play with it. I probably got like 5 songs in at 11:30 at night last night when all my stuff, was set up with it and everything. I haven't been able to get into the app. That's kind of pissing me off because of the tap thing and something with my phone. I don't know. But overall, it's nice as hell. The controller, it doesn't click when you hit the strum pad like it used to, which I was worried about. But then I turned it on and connected it, and there's force feedback on it.
There
That
is,
was the
yes. There's a
coolest thing
haptic
to me.
feedback on this one.
Yeah.
We both got the Pro models, which
Mhm.
is the higher tier model. The Encore model, I believe, actually still does have the clicky strummer.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the
So
option's still there for those that want it.
yes, and it's actually cheaper if you did want it. But I think the way that this one is, it's more of like a Hall effect, so you shouldn't have any strum issues like some of the Rock Band and I know older Guitar Hero guitars have issues with stuff breaking down just because of the way that they were built.
Yeah, just because of the way the mechanism was designed.
Yeah.
It's funny, I've kind of found myself while playing being more delicate than perhaps I should have been. And then I was like, wait, this is actually a nice controller. Like I can beat the shit out of this thing a little bit rocking out, and it's gonna be able to take my licks when I'm playing Death Clock kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I've said before I've been playing Clone Hero over at the Pinball Club. We've got a nice little setup there. I kind of semi donated my old Rock Band guitar, my Rock Band drums, my Guitar Hero 2 guitar, uh, and just a bunch of people there. It's been really enjoyable. A lot of people have been getting back into the rhythm genre. It was really big in the mid to late 2000s.
Yeah, early
to
2000s. It was
Yeah.
say like 04 to 10.
10. Yeah,
Thereabouts.
say probably right about the time I graduated college. I started playing it freshman year, which was 2006 for me, but I know it came out a little bit before that. But I think Guitar Hero 2 was when it really took off. Guitar Hero 1
Yeah.
came out, and I know it was fairly popular, but then
Guitar
2
Hero
came out, and
1
it seems
was
like
definitely was a thing, but it was still pretty niche,
Yeah.
as I recall. And I definitely knew people that had it and played it and enjoyed it. But it was like passing fancy kind of thing. And then it was actually my roommate, I guess it was probably Christmas of 05, gave me a copy of Guitar Hero 2 for PlayStation 2 with the guitar.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
Yeah, and then we, proceeded to play it nonstop for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then that, I remember, it just exploded from there.
Rock
I think
Band,
it-
I think, is when it really like
Is that when
took
it really
off.
took off?
I think
It's
so because once you introduced the microphone, so you could have someone that wanted to sing, and once you introduced
true.
the drum kit, like I think it turned it from like a competitive couple people playing against each other because I think
To a party
most
game.
of and like you could have an entire band,
Yeah,
and
and it's
that's
a
when at least
karaoke
my
night all of a
group,
sudden.
yeah, that's when my group it took off for. It was like, oh, this is awesome! Like we have someone that's okay at playing drums. It's like I don't really want to play guitar, but these drums are almost like playing actual drums, so let me screw around with that. Or
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing wrong with the formula whatsoever, and I'm so glad that it's coming back because people are remembering, A, if they were there, how much fun it actually was, or B, how much fun there is to be had. And, I never should have listened to people saying that that was something old and dumb. It's just,
oversaturation.
total and complete oversaturation. You were drinking this shit from a fire hose at that time, and it was just too much. And there was no way that the market was ever going to sustain it. You had 5 Guitar Hero main entry series, 3 Rock Band games. You had Guitar Hero, Green Day, Beatles, U2, Van Halen, Metallica. You feel free to jump in here at any point. I'm not reading this. This is coming off the top of my skull.
I actually just did a quick look. There were 25 releases from Guitar Hero.
And
from
almost all of the band ones came with a like collector's edition
yes,
with its own
with its own
guitar and
guitar.
all of it was ridiculous. And I think if there's a fair analogy for just how much oversaturation was to the point where people are sick of it, it'd be something like maybe like the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series, where they
Yeah,
just
that
did
would be.
so
This
many
was that to the
releases,
extreme.
in such a short amount of time that people are just like, all right, I this thing I loved, you've zapped all the the joy out of it. And they really did try to be innovative, Harmonix and whoever the other
Red
developer.
Octane.
Thank you.
Red Octane
Um,
actually owns Cracked. Some
oh,
of the developers
interesting.
from Red Octane run Cracked.
That's cool. Well, that's probably why it's a great peripheral.
Yeah,
But yeah, like they got to a point where you could plug something of real instruments to it, and you were kind of actually learning the instruments.
Rocksmith was
But
100%. That's what that was. Yeah.
Rocksmith absolutely was that for the people that wanted that, and the people that wanted that went and bought that.
Yes.
And the
Yeah, this was
Guitar
still
Hero stuff
gamified, but
ended up living in some weird in-between space where it was too much for the straight up game people and not enough for the people that actually want to play instruments, so it kind of just fizzled, I think. And by that point everybody had enough.
yeah. There were minus the DJ Hero games, which was another spin-off that the Guitar Hero gang did, which I actually enjoyed. I don't know if you ever played the DJ Hero games. It came with its own
Well,
turntable and
in my collecting days, I ended up with 3 turntables for various systems and multiple copies of the game. Never played it once.
I still have I think I still have 2 turntables and a microphone. Hey, Beck. I think I still have actually 2 turntables and I believe both of the DJ Hero games for PS3 that I picked up probably a decade ago just because I was like, you know what? I remember enjoying this when it first came out and it was still fun. It's something different. Like, I think since we're about 10 years removed from all of this stuff,
Mhm.
like you said, people are finally starting to be like, you know what, this was fun. And as long as we don't see 17 releases in the span of 5 years, I don't think like
I
it
think we're
has its place.
Yeah, we're past that now though. I mean, maybe not totally in the mainstream, but the hobbyists that are picking this stuff up and really getting back into it are obviously aware of the existence of Clone Hero
Y-
and that essentially any song that you could ever imagine in the history of music, if it's not already there, it can be put there. So why am I going
There's
to buy another copy for some officially licensed songs? I'm not going to.
See, so I agree, but I also like if a new Rock Band game came out with a proper campaign like the first 2 Rock Band games had,
I was going
I
to kind of
would
assert myself there, and I agree with you. Yeah.
yeah, I would shell out for that. I mean,
The whole playing from the small little garage up
it was
until you're
fun,
a
yeah.
stadium touring act, like that was a lot of fun. It was.
Yeah, the only issue, not even an issue, but with Clone Hero, it's all just quick play. You can set up, set lists and stuff, so you could play 5 or 6 songs in a row if you wanted to. But it's just playing for the love of the game, which is totally
Yeah.
fine. There's just no game. I don't know how to say that correctly, but no real like game aspect to it. You're
Yeah,
not
I think
progressing.
what I'll end up doing is maybe going back now that I'm running all this on a mini PC, is grabbing the PS2 ROMs and maybe running through those campaigns again, seeing how I
I
fared,
I did that.
25 years on or whatever, 20 years on. You did do that? Did it
I
work
did do
well?
that, yeah, with some of the Xbox 360 versions of it. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely not as good as I was in in any sense 15 some odd years ago.
Oh God, yeah. I
Uh,
mean,
but
it's
I can
bad.
still play on expert. I definitely get tripped up a bit more now than I used to. My fingers don't seem to want a thing, as Otto would say in The Simpsons.
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought I was just gonna step right back in. Like I loaded up Lamb of God laid to rest on expert, like second song in. I'm like, here we go, and I was like, oh yeah, you have to remember how to do this.
My fingers
So
need to move, and I need to remember the
yeah.
charts. And
So let's go back down to medium for a minute and let's see where we're at. Maybe do some Thunder Kiss 65 by White Zombie. Dun 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 dun
that's a
dun
fun
dun
one.
dun. It's only one note. That's
Yeah,
why.
exactly. But yeah, so you said you've only got a short chance to screw around with Clone Hero. The other one I was going to suggest you pick up, and the nice thing is these charts work for both games, is Yarg, Yarg, yet another rhythm game.
Okay,
It's
I will do this.
basically I mean, I guess it's technically a competitor. Everything is open source, so it's not like you're giving them any money or anything, but it's just
Is it one of those
another.
things where like the community team got in a fight and this faction split off and did their own FOSS solution while this one is still being developed? That happens a lot.
It's entirely possible. I actually don't know the story behind it. I do know that Yarg is more like rock bands. So Clone Hero, it's exactly like a Guitar Hero fretboard. It has the circular hit
Yeah, for sure.
boxes,
Yeah.
where Yarg has just the rectangular ones like you had in Rock Band, which I personally
I
prefer.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna differ there. I
Yeah,
prefer the Guitar Hero style. I do.
look at that. But like I said, the nice thing is all you need to do is just download Yarg and then just point it towards where all your Clone Hero
Oh, so you can just
charts are.
pull from the
Yep.
same library
Same
kind of
exact
thing.
thing. It's just basically a different view, and there's options are different. It's the same but different.
Yeah, more ways to
But
play is never a bad thing. Thus
absolutely.
is the glory of the free and open source world.
But yeah, so I mean, my first impressions really of the cracked guitar, basically the same as yours. I have a little more experience at this point over the last 6 months or so since
Yeah,
I've
you've been doing it
actually
at the
still been
club.
playing.
Yeah.
But the guitar's lighter than I was expecting. It's not necessarily. It doesn't feel like it's cheap or anything, but it's just very light, and I'm guessing it's. I'm not really sure why it.
I could do with a smidge more heft.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if it's necessarily a complaint. It's just that when I at first picked it up, I was like, "Wow, this feels like I could just snap it in half," which you
Yeah, it doesn't
probably
feel.
could.
Oh, you could,
But
and it
it's
is
not.
plastic, but it's
Not
nice
chintzy.
plastic. Yeah, it's nice molded plastic. It doesn't feel cheap by any stretch in
No.
my mind.
I was just the weight of it, which is good for some people. Some people don't want to hold around a heavy fake plastic guitar. But next time I go over to the pinball club, I'm gonna have to bring this over with me and just compare the weight between my 360 Guitar Hero guitar and this one, because maybe they're the same weight, and for whatever reason, my brain's just
Nah, but
not
the old ones are
equating
heavier.
them.
I feel like they were.
But I'm with you. Although I still think I would prefer the clickier strum bar. I don't know why. Maybe it's the same reason why I like clicky keycaps on keyboards. I just like the tactile feel.
Yeah, it's just a preference thing, man. I mean, it's I know that I'll end up probably getting a second one of these because my son's gonna want to play this. So maybe I'll get myself the clicky one and let him use the good controller.
Yeah. I mean, you could always do that. And the nice thing with these that we didn't mention is that the fret necks are detachable. They're also interchangeable. So,
Yeah, it's cool.
Cracked
So
also sells it's called the solo neck, which is actually like
the
the
high
rock
up.
band neck.
Yeah, I don't love that, but that's a
Yeah, I
personal
don't either.
preference thing. But it's nice that you have the option if you want it.
Yeah, so I think we both got them on sale for 100. I think the
And then there was a
normal
20% off coupon the following morning.
Yeah, I'm kicking your ass for telling me about it that night. Not really, but
I didn't say, "Hey Wyatt, you should buy this." I was like,
but you
"You
did.
know that
Your
you
face.
know that I've been looking for the guitar, and here's one that I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on." I thought you were already, flush with instruments. I didn't know that you gave them all to the club.
Well, I mean, I didn't. They're there. I haven't necessarily given them to them, but all my stuff is also corded. So I kind of wanted to have a wireless option just to see how that worked. And the other thing is, so the guitar actually has 3 ways to connect to whatever you're playing. You can play it wired with a USB-A to USB-C cable. You can play it with an attached wireless dongle, which makes the polling time a little bit better than Bluetooth, or you could just straight connect it to Bluetooth. I've tried all three ways, and I'm by no means an expert at any of these games, so they all seem like they played perfectly fine to me. Uh,
I would imagine Bluetooth would have the most latency, but
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
was
does.
using I was using the 2.4, wireless connector, and it was if there was lag, it was imperceptible to me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I mentioned to you last night that you can play Clone Hero, and I believe you can play Yarg online. And I'm curious to one, see how well it works playing with someone online, and two, for us to be able to play some songs together. The only thing I'm curious about is if we both have to have these songs on our own computers locally, or if it's able to essentially stream the file to the other person. So that would be the only.
Yeah, but who cares? You can just download the
Oh
same
no, yeah,
tracks.
no, I don't. I'm
Yeah.
just curious as to how they work it. It really is my bigger question. Is
Are the
just
random question, and it might just be the collection I have. Are the songs like the karaoke versions of songs? Because I definitely was playing one or two things where I'm like, those vocals are that's not right. I mean, it sounded fine, but it wasn't the person that I know to sing the song.
it depends on whoever created the charts.
Fair.
I'd say 99% of the stuff that I've seen is the actual artist, but I believe what you got was the actual like set dumps from the different Guitar Hero and Rock Band games. So I
Correct.
think that they probably did exactly what that was. So I know Guitar Hero 1 and 2 were essentially the cover bands that Red Octane had that covered those songs. So my guess is it's probably the same thing.
Oh,
They
you might be right
probably
because yeah, it was a Lamb of God song, and I was
yeah.
just like, yeah, that guy's good, but that's not quite as it's not quite screamy enough,
Yeah.
you know.
That's my guess. But if there's also another open source app which I told you about, it's called Bridge, which essentially acts as more or less a marketplace for these charts. You just type
Hmm.
in, I want to see anyone that's charted songs by Ghost. Type in Ghost, and you get 50 songs, and you could look at how many people have downloaded each song, whether or not some people just chart guitars, some people do guitar and bass, and some people will actually chart out an entire band. So depending on, what the
Yeah,
person decided to create.
I was tooling around last night on your boy Ed Hicks sent me uh Chorus Encore.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so that's I guess another marketplace.
Yep.
Um but sounds like the same very similar thing. And yeah, I went pretty hog wild last night, and yeah, you can pick like different guitar difficulties. There are ones with full bands for certain songs, and I was throwing some stuff at it that I was like, "There's no way they'll have this," and it's all there.
There is a very dedicated team of people out there that do this like us, just random enthusiasts about things. Are like, this is super fun. I want to chart all this random crap. I mean, there's people that have charted, Super Mario Brothers, like the
Oh yeah,
overworld
well
music.
that's
There are
that
people
seems like
like,
that's a
well, I'm just saying,
given,
like,
but
even just any like video game type like soundtrack, people are like, oh yeah, we're gonna turn that into
that's definitely all
a chart.
well represented. But like I put in, for example, Chan, who are a prog band from like North County in San Diego, expecting maybe one song too. No, it's all there, and I'm very curious. I haven't played with any of these custom songs yet, but some of this stuff I was specifically just throwing things that I know to just be like FU guitar songs, like
Yeah.
Impossible. And I can't wait to see how they even chart some of these. I don't know how it'll be done, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, the last thing that I will say, which I think is a nice accessibility feature for both Yarg and Clone Hero, is that it's defaulted to a no fail mode. Whereas if you remember from all the Rock Band games, from
Oh,
all
is
the
that
Guitar
why the
Hero
songs
games,
kept playing for me?
yes, yes, exactly. So the old Guitar Hero games, the old Rock Band games, you had to keep your like crowd meter above
Yep.
red. You had to hit notes, or otherwise you'd fail out. They'd boo you off the stage, etc., etc. To make it a little more accessible for anyone, and for people that just want to be able to play a song and learn through it, or just want to play it in a party mode. It's a no fail mode, so it's just keeping track of like how many notes you've hit, how long your streak has been, etc., etc., which I think is pretty nice. Like I said, if you're playing with someone that's not as good, even like it might be someone that can't really even play on easy, but they want to try and play it. It's nice
Hmm.
that they don't just fail out and
drag down the experience.
right.
Yeah, or like, me trying to teach a kid how to play it kind of thing, and he's going to
Exactly.
play co-op, and me not getting horrifically frustrated.
Yeah, exactly. You could play on hard or expert, and the kid could play on medium or easy, and you guys just go for it, and you can both just have fun, and you don't have to worry about, like you said, getting frustrated at him for like, damn it, why can't it's just the yellow button, just hit the yellow button.
It would be cool. Like, he takes piano lessons, so it'll be cool to see if it translates at all into sense of rhythm and coordination and things like that. And then we have this MIDI electronic drum set sitting here ready to go with it too that I'm excited to try out. So.
Oh, I forgot that you did end up getting one of those. I'm curious to see what your experience is, because I have nothing aside from the original Rock Band drum set on my end.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely it's a cheapie. It was $180 or something. It might have even been cheaper than that on sale when my wife bought it for Christmas. It was just kind of like a joint gift to he and I that we could both have fun with. And so far I've only played it with headphones on, but it's amazing what you can do now. I mean, they're obviously, all analog sensitive or pressure sensitive, however you want to say it, and you can load up any one of 10,000 different kits in the thing. It's amazing what can be done. So I think when you actually incorporate it with a rhythm game and the guitar, there's potential for a lot of fun. I never played a lot of the Rock Band part. I did play it, but once drums entered the equation, it was starting to like already be on the back burner for me. So the drums part I like played at friends' houses or a party kind of a few times. But I'd like to learn more from it because it seems like a pretty good way to learn the drums.
Yeah, I am someone that will never claim to have absolutely any musical talent, but playing the Rock Band drums, and I'm very slowly now starting to get it back, but I do remember, like, it just helps you keep rhythm. Just, even if it's just a video game set, I mean, you got 4 things to hit and you've got a kick pedal that you just need to keep the beat with. And I think at my best playing it back in 2008, 2009, you probably could have sat me down at a drum kit and I could have very basically played the drums for a few songs to at least not sound completely stupid. I wouldn't be anyone you would actually want to have on the drum kit, but I don't think I would flail around as much as even right now if you put me behind a drum kit, because I haven't really done anything. I am not Animal anymore, so but it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to. I'm glad that you finally got your guitar, and maybe we can finally start tooling around with this and start our own rock band.
Yeah, let's just put this on the list with all the online games that we're meaning to play together.
Yeah, I guess I can't even remember the last time we played a game together. So
before we started this podcast.
Well, it was one or the other, I guess. Yeah, do you have anything else to add? So do you think this guitar is worth it at $125, which I think it's either $125 or $129 normally?
I don't know. I just work here.
I think it's worth the price we paid. I don't think I would pay more than that.
I definitely would have liked it a lot more at 80. I think 80, if we were able to use those,
it's a good
value
steal
at 80.
Yeah, good value at 80. I'm not angry that I paid $100 for it, but that's about as much as I'll ever outlay for a controller ever again.
Yeah. If anyone's interested, obviously this podcast is going to be coming out tomorrow. I believe it's still on Woot, their video game clearance sale, until the 6th. The last I looked last night, they still had some in stock. So if you're interested in getting your own, sadly, we don't have any cool affiliate codes that, give us anything, but just check out Woot, $100.
I spent Wyatt's money on mine from his donation to the Fantasy Football League that I then chopped with John. So thank you for my guitar, Wyatt.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I am the walrus.
Oh, boy. Oh, that got all crackly there, didn't it?
Yeah, that's fine. So I think that pretty much takes us to Backlog Buster Brothers, unless, sadly, I don't want to force Chump of the Week. I actually want to have one, and I don't have anyone right now that I could give Chump of the Week.
Your standard characters that, are pissing me off every day, but no.
Yeah, the ever Chumps of the Week. We don't need to talk about them.
I don't have an amusing anecdote about a lost pizza that I was supposed to get, which In hindsight, having listened to that episode, I may have been too harsh on you, not realizing that this is pizza we're talking about. So I would have been
seriously.
just as upset as you were.
So, the chumps are safe for this week. So if you guys stay on your good behavior, hopefully we won't have another one again next week. But
Chumps.
let's move on to everyone's favorite segment, Backlog Buster Brothers.
Right after this, P.
You, friends, fun, drink, hot girls, you're hot, drink more, expensive cars, ass, drink, ass, money, you in a tuxedo, threesome, vodka, pussy, drink, 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 you, drink, Vegas, fun, pussy, you in a tuxedo, this girl, vodka, drink, 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 drink it all, you pussy, more tuxedos, more cars, more pussy, more vodka, drink, drink, drink. Please drink responsibly.
And welcome back. Thanks for bearing with me as my small bladder once again delays the recording of this show. But it is time for everybody's favorite segment, Backlog Buster.
Is that new theme music, Nick?
Yo, you can actually hear it this week, and you don't listen to the show, so you still haven't heard it. I'm gonna play it one more time for you. I'll be quiet. Nope, I broke it again. Hang on. Nope. Fuck this mixer. We'll get there one day, folks, but you know.
We don't have it yet.
We don't have it yet.
So
Let's start the backlogs. Yeah.
let's since your assignment was aptly named Minute, I feel like there probably isn't going to be a lot of meat in the discussion, but maybe there is. So why don't we start with you? I assigned you, I believe, the 2016, maybe early mid 2010s game Minute by Devolver Digital.
Man. So shockingly, I did not I don't think I owned this anywhere.
Really?
I think it showed up in a couple like collection drives, so to speak. But I wasn't trying to really just play it that way, like on an external hard drive collection where they throw stuff on top of emulators. And so I bought it on Steam for next to nothing. It's well worth whatever the $5 or whatever it is. Along with Minute Racer, I bought the collection because that sounded fun.
Yep.
But this is I think it's probably available on just about everything now. I know I saw it. It's on Portmaster. So if you have the Steam files, you can play it literally on any Linux handheld. I played it on Steam, and it's a very simplistic top-down story adventure Zelda type game. But you only play it in 60-second increments. So every 60 seconds of real time, your character dies and you start over at whatever home base that you're located in at that time. And it's your job to solve the whole mystery and adventure, whatever you're doing, in those 60 seconds. So it's like, I think I said this last week, Live, Die, Repeat, or Edge of Tomorrow, whichever title of that movie you prefer. The video game, just in a very cutesy, black and white art style that happens to play quite well, I think, as well as it needs to, for being so simplistic. But I love the concept of this game. Obviously, you've played this.
Yeah, I played it probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, and it's a very short game, obviously more so than 60 seconds, but I think the whole thing might be 3 to 5 hours at most.
Yeah.
If that. And I did not finish it. I will. I know I've been saying that a lot lately, but I can't have very much left. So, I mean, it starts out, you wake up in your house kind of thing, very Zelda-esque in your bed, and you explore out into the world. And then you find a sword, and then you use the sword to then do this. And then you gain, all sorts of stuff. I still haven't gotten the fast running shoes because I haven't found enough coins to get them. And I haven't found the ability to swim yet, but I think I have most everything else. Would you call this like a puzzle adventure game, or
Yeah,
what's fair?
I think it's a I'm trying to think of any other term, but puzzle adventures. It's kind of like I think I described it to you as a different take on Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. It's not, the same type of, as far as I remember, it's not the same type of like you don't have a sword. I can't even remember. Can you attack in Minute?
Yes, you have a sword
Okay.
and you can attack.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, like I said, it's been so long. So yeah, it's essentially just a bite-sized take on Link's Awakening.
It really is. I mean, that's the pretty
Aren't you
much
on an
the
island?
perfect comparison. Yeah, and you can even like sail between islands, and you end up connecting all your home bases through this network of portals that you turn on. It's all very clever in so much as that you start out in the humblest of means, and then peel back the layers of the onion to uncover more and more of your surroundings. There's a haunted house. Like I said, you generate a network of teleporting things and hire a guy with a boat and all this fun stuff. But it's all in these very bite-sized increments and all very much aware of the fact that you only have 60 seconds to reach and complete whatever your next objective might be, which you're left to your own devices about entirely. But it's all very... Hey, this guy asks you to get rid of the crabs that are hanging outside of his bar because now he can't get any customers. So once you get a sword, then you can kill the 5 crabs that are wandering around the level, which he then gives you this, which allows you to go over there, which lets you rescue the guy that's stuck and get back to his boat. And then he takes, onward and onward and onward. It's just one of those.
Fetch quest the game.
Yeah, but it's not
fun.
Yeah, but fun. It's not tedious. It's cute and amusing, and a lot of it harkened back to the old style of point and click adventure games for me, where it's like you get a little charge out of finding out that this item works with that, so to speak. And I love the black and white art style. Totally works with this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's little, I don't want to call them modern flourishes, but like when you collect a new item, it does a very fun animation across the whole screen that's seems like it's in a much higher frame rate than the standard game is running at, which is fun to me because it's just kind of bridges the gap between classic and modern. It's the type of thing that you would assume would be possible from technology back then, but it actually wasn't. But I don't know how much I really have to say about it. I'm excited to try Minute Racer. Have you tried that?
I haven't. I was actually just looking it up, and it's kind of cool. Apparently, 100% of the proceeds from that game are being donated to charity. So
cool.
I'm sure it's a cheap game because I know Minute's like a $2 game itself. So.
Like I said, I think the double pack was like $5 or $6 or something.
But yeah,
worth exploring. It's kind of like one of those bite-sized digestible packages, and one of those things that everybody should probably play through if you're a fan of that type of game. Like if you like top-down Zelda, there's nothing you're not going to love here. Fair to say.
And the character, he's like a cute little duck-looking. I
was going to ask. I was looking. I haven't explored to see if there were like any cover art type of drawings to explain to me what the character was actually supposed to be, because he looks like just a duck head with feet, basically, right?
That's essentially what he is. I'm looking at the cover for it on Steam right now, and yeah, he's just got like a giant head with a bulbous beak-looking thing, like a duck bill, and just a human-esque body. But yeah, I really enjoyed that game. I'm glad you're enjoying it too. Like I said, I wanted to give you something a little more bite-sized because Hollow Knight, as fun as it is, like it is. I know we said it's like, oh, it's only like a 12 to 15 or whatever, 12 to 20. Yeah. But I actually haven't had a chance to play it at all since the last time we recorded, which kind of stinks because I'm also getting to the old age where if I go too long between playing a game, I start to forget the controls.
I'm sure we've touched on this, but all games should have dad mode where it's like, here's a quick 5-minute tutorial refresher on how the controls work and what your current objective is, and this is what you should be trying to do. And here's who those characters were, because you don't remember them at all. And something of a last week on type of recap. They always did that. God, what was not the Alan Wake game, but the other one?
I was going to say, they did do it in Alan Wake.
They did do it in Alan Wake, because I know we talked
between
about
the episodes, yeah.
The next one did the same thing in a clever way.
Quantum Break.
Yeah, thank you.
Quantum Break was essentially also set up as a TV show.
Every time
who
you
else?
loaded your save, it would go last time.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was really helpful.
Battlefield Hardline did the same thing, because that game
Yes,
was
they
like
did.
you were playing a cop procedural. I think there was another. I don't think you've played it, and I've only played a few hours of it. But Final Fantasy 16, they introduced a glossary mode, kind of, where if you're playing the game and someone says something, like, you can press a button and it's like, oh yeah, so this is what this person is and they're related to this person, and it goes throughout the entire game. So like whenever these things are mentioned, if for whatever reason you're like, I don't remember who that is or what that is, again, you could just press a button. It's like, oh yeah, so like this place is at war with this place and this person is the ruler of them. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they had that in that Outlander Outreach game that I played on PS5.
Oh, I think I remember you said that.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it had all these alien terms, and it's like, don't forget to grab your flurnturgs. And so, you could actually highlight that term while the captions are going by and be like, remember, that's the berries that are red that grow on this bush, kind of thing. And enough talk about Minute, because
That was
while
the
it
Minute
is
Minute.
great, I gave you an assignment that is one of my favorite things, and I want to hear what you thought about it. And that was the movie from 1991, Alan Parker's The Commitments.
Yeah, I knew absolutely nothing about this going in. The only thing I knew was exactly what you told me, was that it was about an Irish, a Dublin, soul band, I guess you would probably call them. And basically right in the middle of the Troubles. You see a lot of, throughout the movie, just destroyed
Destruction, despair, burning trash barrels, broken brick walls, kids.
It was right in the middle of
stuff. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Total economic depression throughout Dublin.
Yes. So the idea was Jimmy Rabbit Jr. is a guy that apparently has an impeccable taste in music, according to his friends. He knew about, I think it was it Frankie Goes to Hollywood, or was it Right Said Fred? I think it was Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
You
knew about Frankie.
You had the Frankie Goes to Hollywood album before anybody had even heard of him. And you were the first to realize they were shite.
Yeah. So he's a guy that his friends think that, he's got this impeccable taste in music, and they decide, they're playing weddings, and they decide they want to start a band, and they want him to be their manager. And Jimmy basically is like, all right, well, we're going to do it my way if we're going to do it. This is what we're going to do. We're going to be a soul band. That's what, that's what Dublin needs, the trouble, all of the despair and everything. Like, soul music is what the people need. This is what we're going to do. And his two friends are kind of like,
on the fence,
balking at it at first. We're like, I don't know. So, Jimmy puts out a newspaper ad, to get people. There's a whole montage of all these different people that show up to audition for this band. One of the funny moments to me was some guy shows up at the door, and I think his family's like, hey, you got one more person at the door. He comes outside and he's like, all right, you're like, what do you play? The guy, I think he says, well, I played football in school. He's like, no, what instrument do you play? I don't play any instruments. I just saw a really long line, so I assumed that you were selling drugs. And he's like, no. So, not to go beat by beat. So he puts a band together. They start singing these soul covers. They watch James Brown to see, this is who we want to be, like, watching the stuff that he does. And they go, people start to like them. They're starting to become popular. They're playing these larger locations. They get what is supposed to be their big break, playing after a Wilson Pickett concert, and Wilson Pickett is going to come and jam with them after his concert. So people pack the place. The band is super excited. Things happen. I'm not going to give away all the movie, but
I'd say we don't need less total recap and more Wyatt thought here.
Just wanted to give a quick idea of where we start and where we go.
Well, I think I said last week, the performances are real.
Yeah,
in the movie,
and you could definitely tell that. I don't know, how familiar are you with Joe Cocker?
Oh, quite, yeah.
Okay, so Deco, who's played by Andrew Strong, he's the lead singer, And the entire time I was watching it, I'm like, this guy his mannerisms, his vocal range. I'm like, that guy either looks like he's emulating Joe Cocker or like
It's Irish Joe Cocker.
Yeah,
Do you know how old Andrew Strong was in that movie?
I did when I looked up everybody after, and I see he's 57 now. So that means he was what
16 years 16 old. 16 when they filmed it.
Oh no, I was looking at the wrong person. Yeah, he's
that
50.
Voice.
51 now, I think. He is 52 years old right now. That is wild. I thought
is said to have the voice of God, and you'd be pretty hard off to question it. But the fact
he's got an amazing voice.
Yeah. An incredible voice, and he was belting that out at 16 years old is insane. The story was he was like the son of a friend of a producer or something like that, and they kind of had to shuffle him in. They lied about his age and stuff.
That
he
doesn't
look
surprise
16.
me at all.
I mean, he looks like a 20-something that's perhaps a bit slovenly and drinks too much.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised when I looked after to see how young he was. I was like, "Holy crap, he looks terrible for he looks young, but he looks terrible for."
All right, I mean,
16.
this is not the age of veneers across Hollywood actors either, too. So the teeth probably don't help him look young, because he's already got a set of chompers on him, nicely yellowed by God knows what. But their times were hard in Ireland at the time.
But I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed the music. It's my kind of music. The guy who played, oh God, what was his name? Joey the Lips. He was a lot of fun. He played
Joey
trumpet.
the Lips Fagin.
Yeah. What was it? I think I had quoted it to you that he said that God sent him or whatever. And
on a fucking Suzuki.
Yeah, Cole Meany, who's fantastic in this show. He plays Jimmy Rabbit's dad, Jimmy Rabbit Sr. Yeah. And he
Cole
doesn't
Meany
have
is a joy in everything that he's in, but he's especially funny to me in this.
Yeah, he doesn't have a ton of screen time because the movie's not about him. He just plays the father. But the probably 5 or 6 minutes that you get to see him, like, it's a lot of fun. You get to see him belt out Elvis, and you get to see him. I think he was asking Joey the Lips about Elvis because he said he sat down with Elvis.
Well, yeah, the backstory is that Joey the Lips is this guy who's come home to take care of his mom, but he, he toured with all these great artists, and he is very fond of himself, and he has all these stories. But the question throughout the entire movie is he totally full of shit?
Right.
Because they've never been able to prove that he is who he says he is, kind of thing. And they kind of allude to maybe he is, maybe he isn't, maybe he is. But and then the guy that Cole Meany plays, the dad, is
obsessed with Elvis.
Yeah, of that generation, completely obsessed with Elvis, has the Elvis coif that he's done in his curly Irish hair. It's all very adorable. And then
they've got a picture of Jesus in their house, and then above the picture of Jesus is a picture of Elvis.
Yeah, and of course his son like shits all over Elvis. What he said, I never imagined God in a fat corset singing "My Way" at Caesar's Palace after his dad says Elvis is God.
Yeah. No, I thought, like I said, I knew nothing about this going in. I really enjoyed the music. I actually didn't know that those were like actually them playing all of that.
Yeah,
so all the instruments too
reunion shows. They've done
really?
They've done a reunion tour in 2018, something like that, with what members remain.
Which kind of makes sense because I was also looking at all the actors after, and I think like 2 of them have like this is the only thing that I'd say 85 to 90% of the cast has done. They did the commitments and then they never did anything again. So it kind of makes sense they casted musicians more or less to star in this movie, and then either I guess I didn't look to see if any of them carried on being musicians or they just went about normal life after that.
Well, Glenn Hansard is a Irish guitarist, a musician who played the guitarist, Elsband Fender Bender Foster in the movie. He went on to then write and star in the movie that is a musical that is going to drive me nuts, Once, which was a movie in 2007. and is again an Irish musical. It was very famous when it came out, I think, with the festival crowds at the time. Like again, 2007. Won Best Foreign Film. I'm just looking at it now. Won Original Soundtrack, Original Song, Best Song. Yeah, that's another one to check out. That is more of like a low-key love story, typical actual musical.
Yep.
Like they're singing to each other, whereas this is, them rehearsing and playing concerts in the beats of this comedic story, basically.
Yeah, and then obviously Andrew Strong. I was the Deco, the lead singer. I just quickly looked at some of his stuff, but apparently he went out and toured with the Rolling Stones, Elton John.
Yeah, I think everybody, especially around the British Isles kind of thing, kind of took a huge shine to this movie, as I did when I was a kid, because my dad did. So I think a lot of these big boys saw it and took him out. And what translates great for a cover artist doesn't always translate to being a great artist.
Thank you for bringing that up. That was one thing I wanted to mention. So the whole idea of the movie is this band is becoming, more and more popular. I think obviously it was hyperbole, but a journalist writes, they could be the next big, thing coming out of,
Since U2, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there as I'm watching it. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. It's a great movie, but I'm thinking to myself, they don't have a single original song. You're telling me they're going to blow up like U2 just playing covers of everybody else? Like, I understand,
No.
I understand. Yeah, I understand like a lot of soul music. There's a lot of people that played the same songs and everything, but that was the one thing that just made me kind of sit back.
I don't think that there was ever. I think that's pure hyperbole.
And that's what I'm saying. It's just like even seeing that, I'm like,
it's supposed to be much more of they would be huge stars in their tiny little universe.
Yeah.
And this is still a point in time where global culture wasn't a thing. So
No.
a lot of people weren't exposed to music like this in Dublin. So they could be huge stars in Ireland. That would be like the height of achievement kind of thing. So to even put them in the same stratosphere as U2 was total hyperbole, I think.
Yeah.
And was meant to be in that article.
I kind of, because that was the only thing that kind of, even the entire thing, I'm just like, I was kind of hoping I would have saw like them put
Writing
out
a
one
song.
original song.
That was never going to happen.
No, but the music they played, everything from Sam Cooke to, I think they did some James Brown. They did
Wilson Pickett.
Yeah, Wilson Pickett. Like all the music
Redding,
that
yeah.
Otis Redding. The music they played was great. Like I said again and again, like the music was awesome.
It's a 2 CD soundtrack. It's wonderful.
Is it?
There's a lot of stuff that's not even in the movie that they did record that's quite good. If you like that kind of music, which I do.
Oh, I absolutely do. I mean, I love, all of that stuff. I think I've got an entire collection. I've got an entire collection of CDs that just I'll pop in every once in a while because sometimes you just want to listen to Otis Redding. I don't know. But yeah, so I think it was a great pick. I appreciate you sharing that with me. That was kind of a fun one.
Did you need subtitles?
No.
Okay,
I mean, for the first 5 minutes or so, I had to start training my
ear
to
tune your
out.
ear a bit.
Yeah. But once I kind of, got into it, I was like, okay, yeah, nope, I got this. I mean, there's maybe a couple things that I like bounced back 10 seconds to be like, wait, what did he say?
It's
like,
a great demonstration of the Irish art form of swearing too. I mean,
yes,
they really take it into poetic language territory.
I was gonna say they peppered in there poetically
stuff. Yeah, it's wonderful. The swearing in this movie is top to bottom excellent.
So that I think finally just brings us to assignments.
Yeah, man.
So you owe me a game, and I owe you something to watch, right?
I do believe that's how it works. You're up first this week.
All right. So last week we talked about was it last week we talked about the Iron Claw and about
I do believe
Dark Side of the Ring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to get you to watch some wrestling documentary type things because you said you've enjoyed that stuff, and I've always enjoyed it. So I figured, what the heck? Let's have some fun.
Oh yeah. So I watched Dark Side of the Ring and Beyond the Mat and the Iron Claw. Obviously, I've seen
the wrestler, which wasn't a documentary. That was
You're definitely not.
But if you believe Hulk Hogan, he was supposed to star in that movie, but he had to turn him down.
Oh yeah, he really had the chops to pull that one off. Say what you will about Mickey Rourke, the guy can act. He always could. But
Yes. Especially in, have you ever seen, and maybe someday I'll have you watch this if you haven't, have you ever watched Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man?
Oh, it's a classic, buddy. That's
Yeah.
one of those movies that, you saw during the Showtime free preview weekend.
Yep. So yes, Mickey Rourke was amazing in that. So was Don Johnson.
Absolutely. Talk about a product of its time.
Anyway, so have you seen, or did you know that David Arquette was actually a thing in wrestling back in the late 90s, 2000s?
Yes, because he starred in that piece of shit Royal Rumble movie or whatever.
Ready to Rumble, I believe.
Ready to Rumble with Scott Conn. And then I knew about this because I also watched, that we didn't just talk about, Who Killed WCW, was a series on Vice, maybe, I'm not sure, where I watched it. But so he kind of in a promotional weekend for the movie was given a whoops, how did this happen, and ends up winning the title belt in WCW. And of course, the wrestling fans didn't like that, and it was a disrespect to the sport. Is that basically the backstory?
That's essentially the backstory. He was, I think, called the most hated man in professional wrestling for a while at that point, because I believe, I'm 99% sure, that this was a Vince Russo booking. Vince Russo loved to bend reality with his storylines, and he just, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Vince Russo myself.
He strikes me as a complete scumbag.
He's a sleazeball.
Yeah.
But anyway, so David Arquette did all that, and this documentary I'm going to have you watch came out, I believe, in 2020, and it follows David Arquette wanting to become an actual professional wrestler. He loved professional wrestling, and he felt so bad about how all of that went that he essentially wanted to make amends with the wrestling community by training to become a professional wrestler, by going out there and doing shows, going and doing indie gigs and stuff. And he had a documentary made about him called You Cannot Kill David Arquette. So it's essentially just following him. It goes over what happened back in 2000 in WCW with him winning the world title, and then showing, his training, the different indie promotions he's going through. And it's a really fun and wild look, I think, at David Arquette.
I bet there's a lot of self-seriousness on all sides involved that doesn't necessarily need to be there, but that sounds like a very David Arquette thing to do, is to reinsert himself somewhere where he's not wanted and hire a crew himself to make a movie about himself. Is that called that You Cannot Kill David Arquette? That's what it's called?
Yeah.
This is
to be fair,
perfectly on brand for him.
I actually really enjoyed this document as a wrestling fan, and actually seeing, I give him all the credit in the world. And once you see some of the matches and stuff that he goes through, it's kind of like, okay, he is for once taking something seriously. Obviously professional wrestling is, I'm not going to say it's fake because it's real. It's scripted. Kayfabe. But just seeing some of the stuff that he went through, he ends up fighting in a couple of quote unquote death matches, and he literally almost died in a match because he fought Nick Gage, I believe his name is. He's known as the
I watched his episode.
Yes,
that guy's fun. He's nodding out on heroin in his own interviews. It's wonderful.
Yes. Yeah, so he had a death match with Nick Gage, and I'm not going to give anything else away from that, but Nick Gage is known as, like I said, the king of the death match, and David Arquette's if I'm going to be taken seriously, I need to go in and take my lashes, and I'm going to have this match. And
is he catch a bad cut or something?
I'm not going to say anything else. Just that,
or he gets the taser brought out on him and has a heart attack.
I don't know.
These things, something. Okay, I mean, I'm open-minded. I'm excited. I mean, if nothing else, I'll take some joy in watching David Arquette be in pain. I'm sure that he is overall quite a nice human. I just think he would strike me as someone who is maybe a little too self-serious.
To be fair, that is Hollywood.
Yeah, for sure. for sure.
You're not going to find too many humble people in Hollywood.
I don't think he commands the mass of the talent in that family.
Oh no, absolutely not. No.
Yeah. His sisters have it in spades over him in the acting department. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. So yeah, I don't know if you've got. Oh no, you haven't assigned me anything yet.
I have not.
Like I said, I am so just my brain's toast this week. So what do you got for me,
man? I was going through your backlogs, and I was going to keep it light work this week, since I think it's just something that you can get through in an actual short setting, since you are still working your way through Hollow Knight 2.
Yep.
And if you have played this, let me know, but it is in your backlog. Abzu. Have you played Abzu?
I have not. I've seen it in my different libraries many times, but it's just been nothing I've ever fired up. Of course, it starts with A, so I usually see it at the beginning of my...
right at the top.
Yeah.
So this is a game that I first played on PS4. I think this was a PS Plus title of the month. And this is very much in the same vein as Flower or Journey. This is a tight, maybe 3-hour, 4-hour experience. Could be less. Could be slightly more. It's like I said, it's been a few years now. And this is a very unwind on the couch, end of the day. Doesn't necessarily require a whole lot of brain power from you. It's just best to give yourself over to the experience. And if you're anything like me, you may do it all in one sitting because it's just kind of compelling. And it's like a book that you can't put down, but it's a very short story. So there you go. Abzu, wherever you got it.
I kind of I could use something to kind of chill out, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's an underwater adventure, so think like a lot of majestic lighting and schools of fish and whale pods and stuff like that. But there is, despite I don't recall any sort of dialogue or anything, something of a loose story. This came out on PC and Xbox and PS4 in 2016. Which is probably around when I played it. So it's been a minute. So you'll have to refresh me and the audience.
So would you say
it was amazing? So
is this at all like oh gosh, Inside?
Yeah. I think that it would be fair.
Just that same type of like narrative, because there's no dialogue and anything in that, but a story.
Yeah, but uses atmosphere.
Yeah,
to great effect, and yeah, very much in the same realm of indie as that. And I'm just looking now. It's the art director from Journey made Abzu.
Well, there we go.
So that would make sense. So enjoy that, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts next week. I'm sure glad you like the commitments.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go, since I know we're both still doing it, and I figured I kind of like talking about it.
Yes.
Have you read any more Dungeon Crawler, Carl?
I have. I'm chapter 20 something now. Just about.
So you're really into it.
I think about halfway. Yeah.
So did you see, and this can just be a quick little at the end of the show type thing, and maybe we talk a little bit about it more. I know last week we were talking about how there was going to be like a TTRPG and different, things that were coming out.
Oh, you sent me there's 2 tabletop RPGs coming now, huh?
Yeah, by the same company, actually. I think it's called Renegade, I believe. And from what I gather from people, like they're a really good like game manufacturer. So people are super excited about them putting this out. But I actually just put down a $5 deposit for both of the games because they have like if you put a $5 deposit in now, you can get a D2 Desperado Club chip. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I'm going to buy these when they come out. So you get a nice little cool thing with it. But I got one of my buddies who's also starting to read the Dungeon Crawler Carl books, and he's super excited. He's the one that got me into Magic, the Gathering. So I'm like, all right, well, cool. You got me into this card game. I'm going to get you
guys
into
to cross over.
So
I've never been a tabletop RPG person. Not that I have anything against it. I just haven't really been exposed to it. You'll have to be the one that finally uses this property. I like to sit me down and teach me a set of rules for a big board game.
I mean, that's how I got into Magic the Gathering. Was I saw that they had Final Fantasy cards now, and I'm like, oh my god, I love Final Fantasy. Now I'm gonna want to play this. This sucks. I don't need
And there
another
it is.
hobby.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to do a quick check-in, see how you're doing with that. I'm about a third of the way through the 5th book at this point.
Yeah,
so
I got a
I'm-
ways to go before I catch up with you, but I will probably just continue straight through this series. Hopefully the sequels maybe are a little easier to come by at the library, but otherwise I'd probably be perfectly happy putting them all on the shelf.
I'm hoping you can, because I had to wait a little bit for book 5, and I was just kind of champing at the bit, being like, "Oh man, I really just want to read this. I need to get my fix." So it's nice to be able to.
That's the most recent one, I would assume, or
no, the most recent one
oh, there's
is
7. Yeah, there's 7.
Yeah, there's 7. The 8th one's coming out in May, so I just need to get through. I just want to make sure I get through all of them. So I've already got book 8 on hold at my library because I already have it up on the card catalog for being able to put a hold on it. So now I'm just waiting for release, and I think I'm second in line for it, and they're gonna have 2 copies. So here's hoping. Yeah. All right, so I think that's going to be our time here. I appreciate everyone who listens to us. We had
Like,
something
subscribe,
we were gonna
leave a comment, do all that good stuff because it really actually does help. And be a pal. And if you like the show, tell a friend. And if you don't, tell us and tell us how we can do better. So you will like the show. We'll get you one way or another.
but we don't have it yet.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.